It's Wednesday. It's noon Eastern Time. That means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show on the Hemptations Beach Facebook page. We're here every Wednesday. Of course, you can find the shows as well on demand on the Jedi Hemp channel on YouTube. And now, finally, because people are clamoring for it, we're an audio podcast on Podbean. Search us there and on Google Play Music and hopefully more platforms soon. We're in many places. The technology is amazing. The access is amazing. The education and the information is amazing. What else is amazing is I am Joe Clare, and that is Beach in the hemp quarters in Sharonville. How are things in the world of Hemptations and beyond, Beach?
Things are good in the world of Hemptations and beyond, I will say. As I sit high above the Sharonville locations at the hemp quarters, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the High Noon Hemp Show. I think I'm back into rhythm again. We'll see how the tongue works today after, I took a week off and then I was all tongue-tied. But anyway, thanks everybody for being back. We are excited to have the podcast thing going out so we can officially say we're a podcast next year when the best of voting goes on. Make sure we have to remember to make sure and have everybody vote us in.
That's right. The awards just start rolling in for the podcast.
That's right. And so,
trophies.
Let's go up on the trophy wall, which I have. I don't think I can find.
Make one out of hemp.
I do have some trophies that I got in college. I will have to say some plaques for outstanding collegehood. It was TV related, radio related. Nice. For the history books, people, if you don't know, I graduated from Heidelberg with a degree in communications. When I graduated, I was directing the nightly news, and I was the station manager of the radio station. And so now, after, and I hate to say this, it's been almost 30 years, I am finally putting that communications degree to use by giving it to you for free.
There you go.
At the High Noon Hemp Show. But my favorite little award that I have, and I still have it, I believe it's the Kevin Johnson Award, and it's this really homemade looking award that my professor gave me, and it's for being the most average student. And so I prize that one the most. As the most average, because I like being right in the middle. I'm good with that anyway. And so I also have some outstanding. No, just kidding. Enough of my past. Let's talk about now. Sales online. I mentioned it last week, and we're moving forward. We've already had 2 orders online, and so I'm really excited about that. To be able to ship the product anywhere in the country, and right now I have about 10 items up, which include our Hemptations brand CBD, and a couple other of the more popular products that we sell, a cream and the gum, and some other stuff. And I am going to start filling in the holes with everything, a little bit of everything. And so, we should have our Greenfield Paper Company stuff up there and some of the leashes and those type of things. I think of it. I looked to build the site just because we started with the CBD, because I knew that that's what people would really want. Doesn't mean that we're not going to be as dedicated as we are in the stores of having all things hemp. And so I look to grow one of the largest hemp products availabilities online at Planet Everywhere, which we were there for a little while. We were competing with some other. We didn't get any business because it's so hard to compete in the internet world. And so,
unless you have an award-winning podcast, that makes it easier.
Unless you have an award-winning podcast, and so I think moving forward we should be fine. There'll be a little tagline.
That's right.
Underneath the Planet Everywhere award-winning podcast. No.
Power of the show will clear away all the problems.
That's it. And so, I really, and I think the thing that I'm most excited about is the fact that we have credit card processing and they know what we're doing. We're not doing anything wrong. We can take credit cards. The interest rate is a little higher than what it was when I was looked at before everything went crazy in the cannabis service merchant world, so to speak. But I'm really, really excited that we can offer this stuff online and just in the stores. Your receipt will now say Hemptations. Anyway, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I will be up at the Ohio Hemp Summit. I think it's the 28th, and so we're getting close. That's in Circleville. You can go online to Eventbrite, I think it's pronounced, I guess, where everyone sells tickets to events, it seems like these days, and look into tickets there. I will be setting up the little hemp booth, so to speak, which kind of shows hemp in every form and of different products. And then I will also be giving a presentation about hemp with a little bit of focus on manufacturing, from processing and manufacturing for all the byproducts except CBD, because there'll be plenty of people there talking about that. But I will go through what it takes. It's not really too complicated with any of the stuff, to be honest with you, but what it takes for the food product to be processed, and what it takes for the fiber to be processed and made into, what it takes for the plastic to be processed and then made into. And so, because, there is a lot of hemp being grown. It is a lot of CBD, but there's also a lot of biomass related to that. That's the fiber biomass, the bast biomass. You'll hear that being called herd. Herd is not really a recognized agricultural word, but it's what the hemp world calls the kind of the outside breaky part of what breaks down into the little chips that you'll see when used for bedding or hempcrete or things like that. And so all that stuff is basically waste when it comes to, say, growing for the flour. Even when it comes to growing for the grain, which is the second reason most people are growing industrial hemp right now, is going to be for the grain, whether it's the food product or the oil to be used for whatever the oil of the seed can be used for beneficially besides food product. When I say that, I mean fuel or whatnot. And so it's really kind of interesting where everything is right now and where everything's going, obviously, because we're in a transition of it's all new again. At the very least, after 100 years, almost 100 years, it's all new again to the United States as far as the agricultural world, the processing, all that stuff. And so, and we're people are jumping on it. There is no lack of interest in the world to build processing plants and get this stuff done. And so we are finally, kind of getting to that real evil plan of mine, which was to get American farmers to grow hemp so that America could do to hemp what we like to do, which is like build it up, man. We need to make it the best of the best. And so let's keep building those processing plants and things like that, which I do have some news on that in the international and national news segment. So I will actually come a circle around back to the whole manufacturing processing, kind of going gangbusters right now with all of that. That being said, we can move on down to the product spotlight. That's right. It's 4 from the store, 1 from my door.
There you
and
go.
the one from my door is actually 4. So if the rhyme goes right or left, because you know that I like to rhyme when it comes to this stuff, it is what it is, and you will soon see how the one from my door is actually 4. But the first one from the store, and I'm kind of going back. I know these guys focused on these guys way back in the day. I kind of have forgot about them. I don't say that. I never forget about them. These guys, they're like a family business related to our family business. Like we're cousins. I don't know. I look at the cousins. But it's the Queen City tincture. And of course we released our own tincture, and that kind of hurt, I think, the Queen City tincture sales for a minute, but I'm being reminded recently with the orders that we're getting that our customers really like the Queen City tincture because as we are now about 4 months into selling our tinctures, we are seeing a lot of customers again kind of coming back and re-upping on their Queen City, and they're still choosing Queen City because they know that's what works for them. And these guys have been around for a while. I remember, sitting in the same room with them talking about things years ago, and then they went with it full bore, so to speak. And we sell a lot of Queen City hemp tincture because they've always been spot on, tested, transparency. Their products are have always done for the customer, I believe, what the customer wants them to do, and that's why we continue to see the sales of their tincture, as well as, of course, the seltzer water, because their seltzer water is really good. And so that's the first one. The second one is some hemp plastic. I love my hemp plastic, but this is the little Sana packaging box, and so it's a little locking kind of. You can see it kind of locks on the side, and just the top slides, a little cheap little storage box for your whatever you want to put in there. And again, Sana packaging is, and I hope I say that it's either Sana or Sana, and I haven't really heard it from them. SANA. You can go check them out online. They are all earth friendly plastic goods, so to speak, and this is using hemp, and so on the shelves at all the stores for you to take home at any given moment, and soon to be on the website, planeteverywhere.com. Speaking of a Planet Everywhere, here's a good site. See, Planet Everywhere is it's kind of a multi-use broad term, because Planet Everywhere is kind of what I look at as a production term, whether it's producing this show, Planet Everywhere Productions, or it's Planet Everywhere Manufacturing, which is our goods that we make as well, or planeteverywhere.com, where you can find a little bit of all that stuff, I suppose, because it's a great name. I came up with it probably, it hit me again probably, I don't know when, 10, 12 years ago, at least 15 years ago, I think I put it on a card. Maybe even 20 years ago, I might have put planet, and it's planet like a planet, Earth, planet, everywhere. And you can spell where anyway, just about, and we got it covered. So WARE, WEAR, WHERRERR. No, I don't know if I got that one, but there's a lot of R's and E's at the end of that one. But anyway, that being said, we do believe that you should planet everywhere when it comes to hemp. That's for sure. And this is a baby bib, and so this is a Planet Everywhere manufacturing product made in what I call the no sweat shop. But it's just a little baby bib. I think it dyed on one side, and it's got kind of softer towel material on the inside. And we have them in all kinds of different colors, and I believe non-dyed, if you would like the non-dyed. And so if you're in the store and you're looking for a particular color and it's not on the shelves, let me know. We'll see, because I know Sharonville has quite the selection right now of the baby bibs. So find someone pregnant that needs a bib and get them a hemp bib. Again, no chemicals used on that hemp to be grown or processed or any of that stuff ever. Obviously the dye might have a little bit of stuff in it, but hopefully it's minimal. And the last one is the Lady Jane Honey Nut Bar Mix. And so this is just a mix you kind of put together at home, and obviously gluten-free, non-GMO. It says, we love our Lady Jane. Done great stuff up in Michigan for a long time, and a couple times a year, at least once a year, she is down here in Cincinnati at the Psychic Festival. I know she always comes down, sets up a booth for that. Someday I'm gonna have to talk to her and see how that goes for her. But I know she comes down, and we always miss each other. Anyway, and so those are the 4 from the store. Like I said, I will be trying to get what I post on the show up at the retail site, Planet Everywhere, for you to purchase anywhere in the world as well. So, bear with me there, and I'll do the best I can to get this stuff up there too. The last one, the one from my door, like I said, that's actually are some hemp golf tees. And I love this because I just started golfing again. I golfed in college a little bit just for fun. I had a set of clubs. I took golf lessons and when I was younger, and actually took golf and bowling as a class in college for a credit. But anyway, these are out of Kentucky. This is the Hemp Ventures that I was talking about maybe last week, actually, or before. I don't know if it was before I went on vacation or not. But Hemp Ventures, he's got a website. You can go to Hemp Ventures, and he's got a little bit of hemp stuff that he's kind of starting with. I'm hoping that he gets up and running with some wholesale stuff. And they're not cheap, of course. But for the sake of what they are, and I love it. We'll see how strong they are the next time I golf. I'm hoping I don't break them like I break wood tees, and I shouldn't. But again, it's still natural material and breakable. I mean, we'll see though. We'll see how strong they are next time we go out and hit a round of golf. Hit 9, and I'm not good. Don't think that I'm any good at golf. I'm not. I think golf is I think it kind of look like golf is kind of almost like skiing in a sense where it's just kind of peaceful, little, it can be a little frustrating or exciting at times. You get your adrenaline going just from those bad shots, I suppose. But I don't keep score when I golf. I don't care if I lose my balls. I do not compete with anyone in any way when I golf. I just golf because it's one of those things I like because there's a lot of physics, a lot of geometry, and when it all comes together right, it's quite enjoyable. It doesn't come together a whole lot for me, but when it does, it's still as they say in golf. It's those great shots that keep us coming back to try to make those great shots. Some might call that a circle of hell too, but I don't know what that goes both ways, I guess. So there you have it, folks. 4 from the store, 1 from my door. Get into any location as well as planeteverywhere.com to see what our inventory is online if you want to shop there. And now, because I know how much the public and Joe looks forward to the next section.
It's really, I wouldn't want to say it's the entire basis for our amazing popularity, but it's most of it. At least 85% of the popularity of the show stems from the greatness
I think I saw 81.
That is about to ensue. By the way, quick aside, Amy asking about hemp straws in the chat. I believe we're going to talk about a little bit about that area of hempness here coming up.
Oh, way to give away the end of the show, Amy. Thanks.
Spoiler alert. The hemp straw finale.
Spoiler alert.
It's awful. But now, of course, we can't worry about that because we have this very important thing right now, because there's people out there, they're sitting there, they're nude, they have no idea what to wear, what to put on, they don't know what kind of hat goes with their shirt. It's just a mess, and they've been waiting for this segment. They may have been waiting for days, I don't know. They could have been sitting there since Monday, just not being able to go anywhere because they don't know what Beach is wearing. So we ask Beach himself, hey, what are you wearing, Beach?
That's true. If you are naked, not nude, 2 different things, you would be naked and you are wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? Just so you can get dressed to look like me. No.
Right.
Then here you go. I've got a New Era Bulls hat. So this is an officially licensed Bulls hat, hemp hat. And I've found a couple NBA officially licensed hemp hats that are out there, which is kind of fun. The hemp company heads, if you look closely, some may be fooled by that, but that actually says heads, not Reds, because we have an organization here amongst us called the Cincinnati's. And so that's the hemp company, which no longer exists, but made really kind of thicker, nicer, heavy-duty T-shirts and button-downs and whatnot. We have some of their button-downs still, I believe. The Ionized shorts. And I bring up I wanted to wear something that you could get at the Hempist, or I got at the Hempist at one time.com, and I'll bring that up in a second. But the Ionized short cargo shorts with my hemp pen, of course, as always, from Green Spring Technologies by my side. Some Hemptopia briefs, some Satori no-show socks, and I really like these Circa. These are my Skate for Cancer hemp Circa shoes, and they say love on them as well. And so we love. I really like love, or I love I don't know. I forget how that used to go. Anyway, we're big fans of love. We think there should be more of it in the world, whether you love hemp or not. But of course we do. I want you to love hemp. So if you did wake up and you were sitting around naked, still wondering how it's black and red, for those of you listening to podcast, is the theme. And now you know. What are you wearing, Beach? If it's on your mind.
There you go. Get dressed.
Get dressed. Get out. Go do something with yourself. If you're on the West Coast, you're just getting up. It's okay.
That's right. Buy some black and red. I do forget now with the podcast that people are sitting there listening and they have no idea. It's the beauty of the video, but if you have to listen to the podcast, of course, you can kind of struggle along. We'll try to describe things better, realizing that people aren't watching us. If you're not watching the show, myself and Beach both look fantastic. So.
Oh yeah, we look great, no doubt about it. I have a bunch of stuff behind me. Anyway, it is true. It's like when I tell people that we have a podcast now, I feel like we're stepping backwards because we're taking audio and video and removing the audio or the video. That being said, I get it. The podcasts are popular. I think that there's enough non-visual stimuli in the High Noon Hemp Show to hopefully get them through it. And of course, if they're really intrigued, when you become intrigued listening to the podcast, then you can always go to YouTube, click on the old Jedi Hemp channel, watch any episode of the and join us live, of course, here at Facebook, the Hemptations Beach Facebook page every Wednesday. And so, we'll draw them in the reverse. We'll bring them in with my voice, and then we'll bring them to the video, and then they'll probably go back to okay, that was good enough. They watched one episode. Okay, I saw what he looks like.
Yeah, we have the voices, we have the look, podcast. We have the information, we have everything. We have all the ingredients.
All the ingredients. To be an award-winning podcast, because apparently that's what people thrive to be now.
Indeed.
That being said, we're going to move on to some national news. I don't really have any international news right now, but some national news, some events going on, and get everybody back to their day if they have to put their eyes back on something. It looks like, and I was mentioning earlier about the processing stuff, talking about the processing stuff, the Paragon Processing in Colorado, I'm pretty sure this is in Colorado, but Paragon Processing, they're expanding to 250 employees by the end of the year. So if you're interested in working somewhere that processes hemp, look into Paragon Processing. They will have the ability to process 1 million pounds of biomass a month, and they will be able to store 50 million pounds of biomass in a climate-controlled environment until they can process it. And so, that being said, if you want your stuff to be processed and you got that much stuff to be processed, you better get it piled up in their backlog, because that's 4 years once they get started. I've never done that little upper lip thing before, but that's also a lot of hemp. Now I think it's CBD. I don't know. Hopefully, if it's whole plant or whatever, it depends on. I guess I'm guessing it's CBD to begin with, because that's going to be what they need for processing, I suppose. And so it may not take them too long to fill up their their warehouse to get to everybody, I suppose. But that's a lot of hemp. That's a lot of hemp, one way or another. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and I don't know where they're at, but I'm going to update everybody. Victory Hemp Foods in Louisville was hiring, or in Kentucky was hiring. And so you can go to victoryhempfoods.com, I believe, and investigate that. I did put the email up for the hemp wood facility that is hiring. That's on the second page of the website. So you can go to hemptations.com, go to the second page, the About page, I believe it is. And I did put the email if you're in Kentucky and you're interested in working at the hemp wood plant. And so, for years and years and years, and if you walk out right now and you go to the side of my pilot, it says hemp equals jobs. And I've had that on the pilot for, I don't know, probably 5 years. And I stole it from Kentucky when Mitch McConnell was trying to convince Kentucky to legalize industrial hemp to get the ball rolling with the and all the federal stuff. That was the motto: hemp equals jobs. And now it is showing that it's not untrue, that we are seeing jobs being made in the hemp industry, no matter what you want to do, every day. And so, excuse me, didn't want to cough on everybody. And so it's great to see that happening. And again, that's these processing plants. It's the manufacturing plants that are opening up, coming forth, and having the availability to manufacture or process on the higher levels, which is what we're going to need to do to compete with the world and to really make hemp replace the products that we need to replace it, just for the reasons, which is an uphill battle because we are fighting every industry that has already been selling us stuff for a long time. Yeah. And so we're still doing what we're doing because we're not there yet in the world. But every day things are moving forward. This picture that we're going to show here is kind of fun. I think this is like Australia. I know it's not in the US, but they're making these lamps out of hemp waste. And I think it's like leaves and wherever, Australia, ironically, the whole country just legalized industrial hemp. But I think parts of it was legal before. I know parts of it was legal before because James Cameron's been growing industrial hemp in Australia for a long time. Famous movie producer, guy who went to the bottom of the ocean, whatever, Mariana Trench. And so hemp food is becoming a big thing in Australia, and we're starting to see more hemp byproducts coming out of Australia. But these particular lamps are actually byproducts. Whereas they're taking the waste, of course they're taking their waste, hemp waste products, and so they're taking the waste of somebody who's doing something else with hemp and making these lamps with them. I found them online, and again, I don't know if they're even available to order yet. I think they were on a website, and they had some other, and they might be. I think you can order them. I shouldn't say you can't, but they had some other composites, natural composites, again, environmentally friendly composites. For these lamps. And that's just kind of fun stuff going on. So I was wrong when I said there was no international news. There's a little bit of international news. This company is doing great things with hemp waste. And so that just shows once again, no matter what you're growing for or with or to make as far as hemp goes, the waste product that you have is most likely a viable product for something. And again, renewable at the very least. Even if it's a waste product, the plant itself is still a renewable resource. It's not like it's waste from cutting down the trees that we're doing it, and so it's such a fabulous thing when you see, especially stuff like that. And we're seeing a little bit more people coming up with ideas, seeing the waste and saying, what can we do with it? We don't want to waste it. Let's do something with it. Hemp is a plant like that. I don't care if you rip it up from the root. There's no part of it that you can't get some type of viable product from. And so, that's the great part of the smaller aspects of industrial hemp, I suppose. We're going to see a lot of waste still from companies that are, say, just growing for CBD on high scale because that's where the money is. Anyway, go with the bad with the good. It's all good, in my opinion. This next one, this is the Amy. Amy, here you go. Here it is. Yes, there are hemp straws out. And the reason that I didn't mention them earlier is because we don't have them yet. And so this is really just news to the world. But these are becoming available real soon to the market. You may be able to buy them like personally if you go to their website. I don't even remember. I'm trying to make a wholesale connection so we can get them in the stores one way or another. Because plastic straws are kind of going away. California's passed a law. States are going to start passing laws. We're going to see more and more anti-plastic food waste, any type of food, type of products. We're going to try to get rid of it. Hemp straws are great, obviously. Renewable, biodegradable, compostable, perfect solution to the problem of a bazillion plastic straws polluting the world. And so, a lot of people don't get it. I know number 45 made a joke about it and like sold promotional 2020 straws at one of his rallies made out of plastic, which just irritates the pee out of me, I suppose. I'm not going to cuss. I'm trying to keep it clean here on the High Noon Hemp Show. But the fact of the matter is these are the products in the world that I would just like to see disappear. The plastic product disappear, and a hemp version show up, and once again we go on with making the world a better, cleaner place for all the animals and the soil and the water and all that stuff. And we stop using materials that just because they're convenient and easy and do what we want them to do doesn't mean there's a lot of waste. And there, again, a plastic straw, man, in the long run, you look at it and think, oh, that's not much. Just one plastic straw is not much. But think about a billion of them. I can only imagine every day around the world, how many humans use a plastic straw and throw it in the trash can with their whatever else waste. They can probably be recycled, or may not be. But should be. And so, even if the plastic straw gets thrown away, I'm sure rather have a biodegradable, compostable product going into the landfill. And so I love it. We will get them in as soon as we can. I'm trying to work that out. You can see there on the box at the bottom, it did say Life's a Beach Inc. I love that. I did too. See that. And so, they're to the top of the list, but I have tried to I might even try to contact them through their website too, because I did get an email and I did email them, and so hopefully I will hear from them at any moment. And trust me, when we have hemp straws on the shelves at Hemptations or even available at the website, because they probably will go up on the website as quickly as possible, you will have hemp straws available to you. And so I love the hemp straw thing. So thank you, Amy, for being on it and knowing that I was on it. A little teaser earlier in the show.
She said in the chat, everyone needs these. We need them in the restaurants. And Amanda said, hey, y'all, reusable straws all day. So, yes, people are excited about the hemp straws.
Yeah, no, I think as far as an environmental movement, it's out there. We had glass straws that we actually sold for a while because, once again, in the environmentalist world, that's it. If it's not reusable or biodegradable, compostable like the hemp ones, and they don't want any part of it. And so I think I read some meme somewhere that was a kind of a joke, kind of making fun of us as, just drink out of a glass like people intend. And I was like, I'm all fine with that too, to be honest with you. We don't do the fast food thing a lot. So it's really looking out for the people that don't care. And that's again, if we replace the products, put them in the hands of the people that don't care, then they still won't care. Their straw will still be a straw, and they go on their day. But the planet can be so much better off.
And they don't want to tilt their cup. It's not.
And they don't want to tilt their cup.
Tilting. I want to keep it the same.
And I get it.
Level.
I definitely get it when it comes to the part of your fast food restaurants and whatnot, because drinking even non-alcohol and driving is probably a struggle for some people, because just driving is a struggle for a lot of people.
You spill on
but
yourself
anyway.
and you spill the ice all over yourself while you're driving. And this is a horrible, horrible mess.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, you sue McDonald's or whoever. Anyway, okay. Let's replace it all, cups and everything, and we're seeing that. We're seeing a lot of fights to get all the packaging replaced with something that's better than styrofoam or plastic. Just look at the whole world just to remove those two things, plastic from oil or not hemp, but some of that you can't do. All right, we got just a couple events, not too much going on until the actual Hemp Farm Summit for the rest of September. I didn't see much going out there, so if you know of anything, let me know. Or we'll try to get it on the website. But September 28th, as I mentioned earlier, is the Ohio Hemp Farm Summit, Pickaway County Fairgrounds in Circleville. And so we'll be there, as well as a lot of other educated people on what's going on in hemp. Hemp farming is now legal in Ohio. So I know we're going to be discussing a lot of that. And it was very agricultural last year. Last year was the first year that the Ohio Hemp Summit happened, and that's really kind of what I really liked about the feel of it. It was very agricultural oriented. We might see some more this year just because, again, we're just how crazy it's been from this year to last year when it comes to that. But, they're really trying to make it more of an agricultural thing, hemp farming, manufacturing, again, processing, that type of stuff. So get your tickets. I might have put a link on the website, but I forget. I've been posting links everywhere and going kind of link crazy with stuff, and I don't know where I'm putting what sometimes. But I may have put a link to the Evan Bright ticket site where you can get tickets to the Hemp Farm Summit. Now the first week of October is pretty busy. October 4th and 5th, you have the Pennsylvania Cannabis Festival in Kutztown. I think that's like Kutztown, Pennsylvania. I'll put their website, pencannafest.com, up on our website. Again, you can go to the second page of the hemptations.com website, and if I have talked about it on the High Noon Hemp Show, then it should be there as far as the events. And if I have a link or something or a website to drive you to, I'll put that there. You also have October 4th, the Kentucky Hemp Harvest Fest dinner in Winchester, Kentucky. So if you're in that Winchester area and you want to go to the Hemp Harvest and dinner. And then, of course, I think the 5th is actually the Hemp Harvest Festival in Winchester. So the dinner is the night before on the 4th. And then on the 5th in Winchester, you actually have the Hemp Harvest Festival. And I can see that being quite fun in Kentucky because they're growing as much hemp as anybody and embracing it. And so I feel like that's going to be a fun event to check out. October 4th, and I kind of skipped over you also have the Jack Hare Foundation Celebrity Golf Tournament. And so you can support that by participating in that if you wish, October 4th. Then October 17th, we go back to Lexington for the Henry Clay Hemp Social, which is at Ashland. which is the historical Henry Clay House right in the middle of Lexington, with a little park around it, beautiful flower garden, and every year a crop of industrial hemp that they grow right in the middle of Lexington, which I've always enjoyed because Youngest lives literally like 5 houses from there. They live in a house which would have been in the hemp fields when Henry Clay grew hemp also many years ago when he did. And so that's the Henry Clay Hemp Social at Ashland. Again, all these events are up at hemptations.com. The first page, that's where I added a link to Planet Everywhere if you want to go shop. We also have all the dates of pertinent things that go on in the Hemptations world, or my world, so to speak. You can go to the second page, get all the information that I talk about on the High Noon Hemp Show here live at Hemptations Beach Facebook page, and on YouTube, and now a podcast for those of you that want to listen or can only listen, as opposed to being able to watch. And so there you have it, folks.
I do want to
another
point out that,
Wednesday.
John said in the comments that he pointed out this weekend is the 30th Boston Freedom Rally in
Thank
Boston.
you, John. I made a reference of I. I made a reference of the Ionized shorts because of the Hempest. Because thanks to John, and he's been posting a lot of pictures of the Boston Freedom Rally that is, in fact, in its 30th anniversary. And I'm so glad you brought this up. I meant to add it to my list, and I almost missed it because. And I didn't know this. We sell Hampus Goods. I personally go there to buy a lot of products retail at their retail site because they have great clothing. It's a great retail spot. But obviously, they're the owners of that, have been doing this for years. And again, I had no idea of that back history. Unfortunately, the modern world makes it hard sometimes to get business owners history, because it's just emails, and I've never personally talked to a lot of the people out there, and so to learn, and I had no idea the history of the Hempest retail online, and they do, again, wholesale briefs. So you have seen me, and I have worn Hempest briefs on the show before, during the "What Are You Wearing" segment, but they are, again, huge up there, holding it down in the New England area, specifically Boston, and I think they have or had, and John probably knows, brick and mortar locations in the Boston area or in that area somewhere as well, and so kudos to them for being it as long as they have. Kudos for John for doing it as long as he has. Those pictures of Jack, 20, 30 years ago, at the Boston Freedom Rally, and how much that's about cannabis and hemp. I didn't really know that, honestly. I mean, I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really realize the history of cannabis when it comes to the Boston Freedom Rally, which is celebrating, once again, folks, its 30th anniversary this weekend. And so obviously, if you're in the Boston area, that's one last minute event that I would suggest checking out. Because again, I personally, until I really started seeing all of John's posts about the past and what the Boston Freedom Rally is really trying to symbolize as far as freedom goes, which is the freedom of cannabis. I didn't really know that, and so that's an event I should be following a little bit more. But its history, once again, blows me away to how long they've been doing it, holding it up, representing the freedom of this plant that most of us, I believe, should be wholeheartedly free to everyone to use, whether it's the industrial hemp part of it or it's the medicinal part of it, or what people call personal use, which is medicinal. Either way.
Absolutely.
And so again, if you're in the Boston area, check out the Boston Freedom Rally. Thanks, John. I totally appreciate it. You are the number one dude in the up in there everywhere. I'm not going to say everywhere. Yeah, again, he's obviously the Boston Freedom Rally is an annual event that does its part to represent cannabis as well. And so thank you for reminding me of that before we got out of here. I didn't put it on my list, and so I forgot it, even though I remembered it during the What Are You Wearing Beach segment. But anyway, check out the Hempus.com. I think it's the Hempus.com. Don't get it confused. There's some soap makers that go by kind of something close to that anyway. But the retail site, you'll know what I'm talking about if you're there, because they have a full line of clothing and goods and accessories and whatnot. All hemp stuff. So thanks again, John, for the Boston Freedom Rally. And that's the Napoli is their last name, and I'm flaking on their first. I've seen their name in a couple posts that John has posted, but I know it's the Napolis. I believe that are a huge voice for industrial hemp, obviously, in the Boston area. So thank you to them. Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening, no matter where you are, what you're doing in the world. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.